Okay, there we are. We made it online officially. I think we did it. Let's make sure everybody can hear us, right, Marissa?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to this episode of CalChiro Live. We tried to do this yesterday, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties. I think we got it ironed out this week, and we'll try to give away some money this week. We've got $400 to give away. Before we start talking about everything, just want to remind everybody that we have our legislative conference coming up next week, Tuesday. So if you haven't had a chance to register for that, super important to get out and represent the profession. That's what Marissa and I are going to be talking to you guys about a little bit more today. So please join us if you can. The more the merrier, and the stronger we are together, kind of thing. So as another reminder, quickly, we have our events coming up. The sports symposium is coming up in June. I believe that's the date, is June. I don't have it right in front of me. That's going to be an action-packed event down in Paradise Point. We also have the pediatric event later in August. That will be also down in the La Jolla area. Oh, May 1st and 2nd is.
May 1st.
Thank you. That's right. So May 1st and 2nd is sports. And then in August, we have pediatrics. And then our fall conference this year will be towards the end of the year. I believe end of November or sometime in November. That's also back in the La Jolla area. Sorry, I'm rattling these off faster than Shasta can keep up. But take home point is we have quite a few events going on this year, bringing great content and information to you all around the state. So hopefully you'll be able to join us at one of the upcoming events. But today I wanted to talk a little bit more about our legislative agenda that's coming up. I wanted to introduce you to Dr. Marissa Palmer. She's in charge of our governmental affairs stuff. And Marissa, why don't you tell us about our legislative agenda?
Sure. So thank you, everybody. We have three big things we're trying to talk to legislators about this year. The first one is our fair pay activities that we've been working on. We do have a fair pay task force that's been in charge of looking at, the issues we have here in California with chiropractors getting paid fairly for the services we provide, as well as looking at other things such as our contracting and such. So that's going to be one of the big topics we'll be talking about. Again, we'll also be looking at bringing up the request of including chiropractic as a covered service through Medi-Cal. We have a lot of Californians who are on this, and unfortunately, we're not considered, an essential benefit for Medi-Cal recipients. So we will continue to ask for that. And then lastly, our other main talking point will be our sponsored bill, SB 1269, authored by Senator Ochoa Bogue, which would allow direct access for animal chiropractic.
Awesome. I was thinking a lot. I know yesterday we had some questions on the webinar that we tried to address a little bit regarding Medi-Cal, regarding fair pay. I think someone had asked a question regarding, well, if legislators tell you if we don't like it kind of thing, why not just not take it, right? And I guess that's one of the things that I always struggle with and I always wrangle with because, I've been on a mission in my life to try to bring chiropractic to people, to help people utilize chiropractic care as part of their life, right? And I struggle with the idea that it's only available to people who can afford it, right? And so one of the reasons that I think that this is so important is because it gives people the opportunity to get chiropractic care that otherwise would not have access to chiropractic care. And that's important to me. So I hope people can get behind that. I take the responsibility of, the responsibility that we've been given to carry chiropractic forward and to bring it to people so that they can utilize it as part of their lives, as we've utilized it as part of our lives and seen the benefits from that. I think that's really what it boils. That's what motivates me, at the end of the day, right? I know not everybody wants to accept it, and I certainly don't want to criticize anybody's business model, but I'm also about just taking care of people for the sake of taking care of them, and that type of thing. So I think that's one of the things that I'm going to try to really talk a lot about tomorrow, or on Tuesday, regarding fair pay and regarding Medi-Cal. I've had the experience quite a bit in working with Medi-Cal recipients now through the Valley Health Plan here in Santa Clara, California. And I think it's another important potential thing that we should look at in terms of talking to health plans and saying, here's a group that's offering Medi-Cal recipients coverage through the plan, right? And maybe that's something we should be influencing legislators to do, is encourage the health plans to start enabling their Medi-Cal recipients to get chiropractic coverage, because they're certainly getting federal funds for providing benefits to Medi-Cal recipients. And so I think that could be another point. But I wanted you to talk to us a little bit about the legislation that you've worked so hard at developing, and talk with us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So SB 1269 is kind of like a follow-up bill to the legislation that we had sponsored last year, which was SB 687. Same premise as allowing people direct access to certified animal chiropractors. And, as an association, we believe everybody should have access to chiropractic care, even including our furry family members. And I would say, animal chiropractic, honestly, is one of the best ways for people to be educated on why chiropractic is important, because we have a lot of people who will bring their pets to animal chiropractors because they're really left with no options. They're told, hey, pay for a $10,000 surgery with no guarantee of success, or put your pet down. And for a lot of people, if they don't have children, that's their children, and they're being told, too bad, just put your pet down. And so many times people are desperate for our services, and they seek us out. And once they see how their animals respond to the chiropractic care, they're like, oh my gosh, why am I not doing chiropractic? So we think this is a great way for the public just to even understand what we do. But what this bill would do is there's two big components with it. One is allowing people direct access to certified animal chiropractors. We do believe you need a little extra training because, spines are different. The nervous system is different. There are different biomechanics and everything that comes with that. So that direct access component would be for certified animal chiropractors. Other chiropractors who aren't certified can continue to work on animals as long as they're under the direct supervision of a veterinarian. One change that we did do to address some of the concerns of the all the parties who are interested in this, was the veterinary involvement. So one component we have included in our new bill is creating a limited time frame for people to start with the direct access. So it would either be like a short amount of visits or a few months, and then we would refer them back to the vet just to make sure there was nothing else serious going on that would require veterinary care. And then the second big component about this bill that we think is very important that every chiropractor should care about is the fact that this bill would put language under the chiropractic board, because right now we're not quite sure how the language came to be, but they have the profession of chiropractic and chiropractors under the veterinary medical board. And that's a problem for multiple reasons. The vet board isn't our regulatory board. They don't have an understanding of what we do, what our services are, when it's indicated, when it's not. And they have the opportunity to define what chiropractic is. And, our long history is we've always been separate and distinct. We aren't, traditional medicine. And so, we want to make sure we're being regulated by a board that actually understands what chiropractic is and what we do. So I think that's another huge component, which would add to safety for the public as well.
No, I got to give you all the credit in the world. For all the work that you've done on behalf of the association and for animal chiropractors. I was just thinking back to, when you originally came to me and said, hey, do you think this would be something that the association would support, right? And I said, it's certainly something we could consider. And I said it would go a long way, I think, for in terms of you coming on the board. And, anybody that's interested in more of a role in the Chiropractic Association and the board, getting involved in our organization in a leadership position, the growth that I've seen in you and the confidence and certainty now in who you are is incredible. It's awesome. I bet that translates to your practice too. Because that's certainly something that I've seen, is that I've taken on more of a leadership role in the organization. I've gotten more confident in my practice because I'm around people that are like, yeah, this chiropractic thing works. Like, it's a good idea. And being around other chiropractors gives you that opportunity to become more confident and certain, so that when you go to into the public or your family meetings or whatever it is, your family dinners, like you don't hesitate to represent the chiropractic profession. So I got to commend you quite a bit for that. Now, did you get a chance to attend the Fair Pay Task Force meeting today?
I did. I did, yeah.
Share with us just a little bit about what they were talking about at the task force meeting today.
Sure. So, when it comes to the fair pay items we've been working on, and this is going to be some of the talking points that will come up for our Ledge Day. But when you're looking at making changes on a large scale, there are different routes of going. There's the regulatory route, there's the legislative route, there's the legal route. Our Fair Pay Task Force is always looking at, like, okay, what's going to be the most efficient and best way for us to start things out. And we are looking at it from a twofold right now. So on the fair pay side, we are talking to the regulators about the concerns we have, some of it involving, intermediaries, our contracting, how things are being processed electronically through billing, and just kind of having transparency of where funds are being distributed and how we end up with where we're at now as chiropractors. And so some of the things we talked about is, we've had some discussions with some regulators in the Department of Managed Healthcare. And then I did talk to them about, some talking points that we have coming up for our Ledge Day. So we thought this would be a great opportunity, to talk to legislators about our concerns about fair pay, because this could be something down the pipeline where we may need to do legislation. And so any opportunity we can have to start educating people now is going to set us up really well for when we do need to do legislation, if that's the case.
I see a question in the chat from Travis about the Wikipedia article. I don't really look at Wikipedia anymore. I didn't even know that Wikipedia is about to go the way of MySpace, I think, here pretty quick. But my understanding is that anybody can update a Wikipedia article. But, I was also thinking about this would be a great thing to contact the Foundation of Chiropractic Progress for. So, Travis, if you could reach out to them, I'm sure they will update that for us. They're probably the best suited to do that and stay on top of it. As a CalChiro member, each one of you has a Foundation for Chiropractic Progress membership. You should be looking at that regularly. They have great things to use in the social media capacity. In fact, Dr. Sherry McAllister just wrote a book called Adjusted Reality, which we're actually going to be providing copies to the legislators that we're going to be meeting with, because it's a very very good way to just help someone who's never had any exposure to chiropractic get exposure to chiropractic. And so I'm really excited about what they're doing over there at the foundation. And I would encourage you to contact them, or maybe Shasta can send Sherry an email real quick while we're online here. Because, like I said, Wikipedia is, I think, a short-term problem for us. Anybody can update it, but I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. And I think reach out to the foundation as soon as you can, and that will help expedite that process. A couple of other things that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention that we're going to be talking about, or I will be just a little bit, is the Uber initiative. If you haven't been made aware yet, Uber has a ballot initiative that would, for all intents and purposes, eliminate the ability of chiropractors to do personal injury work. It would cap the fees, really, and that would just create a whole slew of challenges in that personal injury world. So if you're not familiar with what's going on over there on that end of things, you need to familiarize yourself with the PPC provider pack. Is probably the best way to get information. I think we have a QR code, and I had somebody talking here a couple of weeks ago about what's happening with the Uber initiative. But feel free to reach out to me if you want more information on that, and I can familiarize you more and connect you.
And I would say one thing to be mindful too with this Uber initiative is that this is going to be a ballot measure, meaning it's going to be going to the public for a vote. So, I think we always want to take an opportunity to educate, but this is something that isn't necessarily going through the traditional legislative process where legislators are voting for a bill to pass or not. It's actually going to go to the people. So I think the more we can educate the people about, what's going on, the better.
Absolutely. I appreciate that point. One other item that I wanted to share with everybody, I just got a notification today. If you haven't been made aware of the HR 539, this is a federal Medicare legislation that has been on the precipice of being brought to the floor for, many years now, right? And just added another sponsor this morning. I think we're up to close to 160 sponsors with regards to the Medicare Modernization Act being put forward by the American Chiropractic Association. And, regardless of affiliation, association, philosophical belief, I have been supportive of this initiative because it's got a lot of substance to it. It's gotten a lot of support. So anything that you can do to educate the public about the Medicare Modernization Act and help get us sponsorships from legislators. I mean, you can go to the ACA Today website, and it's 2 clicks of an email to send an email to your legislator regarding HR 539. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the follow-up is so key, and so much about follow-up. But doing that simple type of thing can go a long ways towards getting this passed. And that would give Medicare recipients access to exams and x-rays and things of that nature in a chiropractic setting. And again, this goes back, to that fairness, that equity, that level of respect that we deserve for the level of education that we have. And that's something, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit too about how we always discuss our level of education at Legislative Day.
Yeah. I think when we go to Leg Day and we start educating the legislators and their staffers, they actually are very surprised. They're like, wow, I had no idea how much education you guys have, and that's why it's important we actually show up and talk to them and explain, like, look at all the years. We have just as many hours as medical doctors, and they're surprised because they think we're just here to crack bones, but it's so much more than that. And that's why, and it's one of the talking points we have for even our animal chiropractic. It's like, we are direct access on the human side and should have that same availability with the animal side as well. But education is key. And I think Leg Day is a great way to get a lot of appointments done and talk to a lot of people and make a big impact, because really, if we're not here at the Capitol and advocating for our profession, I think they say if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So we got to be there to let people know, like, hey, we exist and we are far more educated than you realize and can do so much for your constituents, because that's what the legislators really care about. They care about their constituents. They also care about getting votes. And so if their constituents are happy and getting good care, the legislators are happy.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a huge point. And all of the, we have our own PAC, and maybe we can put up a QR code for our PAC, but a PAC is a political action committee that, that's something that we have from a CalChiro perspective. It enables people like Marissa and I to go to events to support legislators. But to your point, in those events, and even at the Capitol, like you said on Tuesday, this is a chance to represent your profession, to represent yourself, to represent your family, to represent the education that you've received, your institution that you graduated from, your alma mater. And to me, those are important things, because, either we're going to tell people what we're good for, or they're going to tell us what we're good for. And I know a lot of people have heard me say that before, but that's something that I wholeheartedly, I believe in, that, I take into every interaction now, whether, I'm sitting at the poker table or I'm having dinner amongst a group of friends or something like that, kind of thing. Because I'm not about to let somebody tell me what I'm good for and affect my life and my livelihood. That's really what it boils down to. So let's see. I see one more. Wiki is too heavily mod. Okay, that's just a comment about Wikipedia and that kind of thing. So we don't have to. I thought there was another question there in the chat. Can you talk to us just a little bit about what lobbying entails or what to expect on Legislative Day on Tuesday?
Yeah, so, CalChiro does a great job of prepping everybody. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. If you're a chiropractor, you know how to talk to people, so you should be good. But we do make an effort of educating you. So some of the benefits is, one, our chiropractic board will be there providing one CEU, but then our lobby group will talk about what it's like at the Capitol. We will give you the talking points. So if you had to read the paper verbatim, you can. But really, it comes down to you're just talking to somebody and educating them. Sometimes it will be staffers, sometimes it will be legislative directors, and sometimes it will be with the actual legislator as well. And they especially love to hear from their own constituents because you're directly affecting their community. But you just share your story like, hey, I'm a chiropractor. Here are these main points, and these are how they're affecting me, or affecting your constituents. So it's really just a quick conversation, and they'll ask you questions, and they really just want to hear from you.
Yeah, that's another great point that you make too. I was just thinking about maybe we could put the QR code for Ledge Day up again, Shasta, just so if people want to register to join us, they can do so. But I was thinking about how, we do get a lot of board members that come to our event. I've been, friends now with Larry Adams, who's the president of the board, for quite a while. And I know Dr. Azzolino has joined us in the past. And Dr. Dave Paris has joined us a lot of times. And Pamela Daniels has been very cooperative. And Kristen Walker, who's the main person at the board, she's always come to our events. And, I've had probably 3 to 4 people over the last 6 months having some sort of board question or board interaction, and they're coming to me and the association, I guess. But our ability to have relationships with the board like that has helped those people get access to information that they otherwise wouldn't have, and you have the same opportunity as a CalChiro member to come and interact with these board members. They're just chiropractors and people like us, that are working on behalf of the state and the population to bring better access to chiropractic. So I think that's another unique opportunity that arises from Legislative Day. I hadn't thought about that. So hopefully everybody can join us, on Tuesday. That would be great if you can come and join us. It's going to be an action-packed day. I know we got some fundraisers and some cocktail hours and receptions, and you're going to go to we can't see each other now because the thing. But I just before we spin the wheel, I know that you're going to be taking some students with Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez on the floor.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Yeah, the member has been gracious enough to take us down to the actual floor, so this is a great opportunity for us to see where all the big decisions are made and where the big fights come in and such. So that's going to be really exciting. So this is a unique thing that I don't know if we've ever had this opportunity for a Ledge Day. So this will be really exciting.
I'm jealous now. I want to go on the floor.
Sorry, too slow.
I'm not jealous. I'm envious. Envious. Okay, well, good. Thanks so much for being on today. Let's try to give away some money. I see the wheel is up. We've got 4 names that we're going to roll today. I see we've got Annette Purdy, who she won something. Oh, that's right. She won the Alpha Omega event. I hope she had a good time at that. Dr. John Lee from Alpha Omega invited us to his event to represent the association. And if you guys have any events like that going on and want to have CalChiro come out, we'd love to take that opportunity, because I built so many relationships at that event, and so we've had some new members come on board. I've again had questions from people that were at that event. So anyways, let's roll the wheel. Name number 1. We got 4 names, $400. Let's Downing, you are named number 1. Let's see if you're here to collect your money. Well, thank you, Marissa. Even though we had some technical difficulties yesterday, I think we made the best of it. And hopefully people can catch this broadcast on either YouTube or Facebook, even if they weren't here to be live and share with us. And I encourage the people that are on with us right now, if you have friends or colleagues that aren't on here with us, please encourage them to come with us. Send them a text or send me a text, and we can do a 3-way text if you want about what's going to happen at Legislative Day, and we'll go from there, okay? So, my virtual background shut down. They didn't like it. All right, let's do name number 2. Luis Camarillo. Luis Camarillo, you're name number 2. Well, now you guys get to see my Beck's Shoes boxes over here. Beck's Shoes was just one of our sponsors at our Seaside Symposium. Those guys were giving away a lot of stuff. That was super cool. They were there giving away socks, orthotics, all kinds of stuff. So if you have a Beck's Shoes near you, I know that they're going to be at a few more events as well. So hopefully Shasta or Kelly tell Beck's Shoes that I'm giving them a shout out here on CalChiro Live. I don't see Luis Camarillo with us. We'll wait just another few seconds because I know we're on a delay sometimes. But yeah, hopefully if you the Seaside Symposium was awesome too. I don't know, you didn't get a chance to come to that, but the staff did a great job with the Seaside Symposium and great speaker lineup. So let's do name number 3. Anthony Piratano. Somebody text Anthony. Travis, you got to know Anthony, right? Anthony Piratano is one of the guys that's been heading up that PPC pack for the Uber initiative. He's done a tremendous amount of work. I should take a picture for him and tell him that he just won money on CalChiro Live. I don't know if he'll care, but it's one of those things where it's always good to let people know that they won the money kind of thing, right? Even if they weren't here to join us. Oh, he speaks often at our PI events. That's great. I know Anthony's been super supportive of our organization. They've been sending out a bunch of stuff too regarding our legislative conference to let other chiropractors make them aware of what we're doing and all the things that are going on. So, all right, let's do name number 4. Name number 4. Michelle Zarzana. Let's see if Michelle is here to collect her money. But thank you again so much for being on here. I'm looking super forward to talking with you more on Tuesday. Thanks for all of the things that you've been doing for the association. I'm so proud of you. Like I said,
well, it started from you, I would say, because you're like, it starts with the grassroots.
And getting you, but honestly, you've taken the ball and ran with it, and it's super cool to see your development and your growth. And if anybody needs anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out. Looking forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday. And until next time, we will hopefully have some more CalChiro Lives in the future and give away some money.
Bye.
All right. Have a good day.